What if uncovering um, a graveside that you didn't know about? Today I'm talking to the amazing Thornton Cline. He's been a guest on the show a couple of times, but today is really, really special. Now, talking about uncovering things, what if you uncovered a buried steel box that rewrote everything that we know about a US president's assassination, for example? Now, in Thornton Cline's latest novel, The Pristine Plot, we talk about a grief-stricken man who discovers a time capsule that could alter the course of American history. So, on today's Books with Bridgetti, we dive into the backstory of that particular book and also the author behind it, Thornton Cline. So, get ready for a very revealing conversation about writing, legacy, and the truth hiding beneath the surface. You're watching Books with Bridgetti.
Introducing Books with Bridgetti, a lineup of industry experts, award-winning authors and talented indie authors. Buckle up for an unparalleled journey with us. Meet exceptional authors celebrated globally for their captivating narratives. Our authors craft imaginative stories that stay etched in your mind long after the final page. It's not just stories, it's lingering experiences that stay etched in your mind. Our authors share the inspirations that create mesmerizing page-turning stories. Journeys that embody resilience, that turn setbacks into stepping stones, rejections that spark growth, and hurdles that become a catalyst for creativity. From dramas, mysteries, fantasies, children's stories to reality stories, join us as we delve into the inspiration behind the story. Discover how authors breathe life into characters and meticulously craft plots that keep you turning the page. But wait, there's more. We share stories from indie authors as well as Amazon and New York Times best-selling authors. Get ready for an interview that'll have you on the edge of your seat. Stay tuned. Join us only on Books with Bridgetti.
If you're just joining us, welcome to Books with Bridgetti. Our live stream is made possible by StreamYard and Be Live Media. Our amazing guest today is no stranger to the show. Thornton Cline is a Grammy and Dove Award nominated songwriter. He's a best-selling author and founder of Clinitel Records in Nashville in the USA. With over 1,500 published songs, 150 commercial recordings and counting, his music has shaped careers and earned him 2 Songwriter of the Year honors from the Tennessee Songwriters Association International. Thornton's literary work includes 41 traditionally published books across different genres and counting. And in 2017, he received the Maxi Literary Award for Best Children's and Young Adult Book. He's most recently attended the 2025 Grammy Awards as a featured nominee and continues to push creative boundaries across industries. So without any further ado, let me welcome my friend, Thornton Cline. Thornton, welcome to the show. I am absolutely delighted to have you here. Thank you so much for making the time to come and join us today on the show.
Thank you, Bridgetti. What an honor! It is always an honor to be on your show, and it's just I'm delighted. Thank you for your always your support and encouragement and everything. Appreciate
Oh,
it.
absolutely. Absolutely. You've got so much to share with us. And I can't wait to dive into this particular book, The Pristine Plot. Won't you hold up the book for us and tell us, where did the idea for The Pristine Plot come from?
Well, is that up high? Everybody
Yes,
can see that.
beautiful,
It's
beautiful.
it's I get so many compliments on the cover. The covers, everybody just people say they want to read it. They want to read it.
It's a
And
gorgeous, gorgeous cover. I like the feel of the book and the pages. It's absolutely beautiful.
well, thank you. I give all the credit. By the way, I just want to go ahead and because I know they're listening, but I give the credit to this my wonderful publisher, Aspire Books. By the way, they're not to be confused with Aspire Writing, or there's some other Aspire out there. But this is a great company. They've been in business for 10 years. They have they're in San Francisco and Toronto, and also Toronto, Canada, and also in South Florida near Ocala, Florida. And I'm just totally pleased with working with them. I just want to shout out to Dan and to Ali and Zaid. They're all people that I work with on the editorial staff and all and acquisitions too. So I'm just thrilled. I'm it couldn't come at a better time, and I'm just really grateful to work with them. So, well, Pristine Plot, uh, was written in 2017, and it's a backstory on this. I It was a vision that came into me. I'm a very oriented person, and I write from dreams and things. And this idea came to me, the fact that I love to write songs and books in double entendres, with double entendres, where you it has different meanings in the language than the English language than just the obvious meaning, and this one has dual meanings, and maybe more meanings than that to some people. But the fact that it's about a plot, cemetery plot, but also a family cemetery plot, but also a plot to kill the president, not the current president, the president way back in
Yeah,
English
yeah,
history. Right.
yeah.
So anyway, that's the and my sister was the one. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but it was really exciting that my sister, she passed away last year, really sad and everything, but and she was also an author too. It was really exciting. I helped her with her getting her book Lizzie the Librarian get published, and but she's a wonderful sister, dear sister to me, and big influence on my life. And she kept encouraging me. She said, you need to get this book published. She read the manuscript, and one day we were sitting in a cafeteria where where she lived in residence, and I started telling her the plot and the story and reading it, telling it, and the people that were sitting behind us, a whole crowd of people, were eavesdropping. And I knew this must have been a sign to get it published, because she just kept on and on asking me to get published insisting before she passed away and everything. And so the people behind us, they said, we hope we're not being rude or anything, but that's a tremendous plot and story, and we'll be one of the first to buy it when it comes out. So isn't that cool?
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. That's amazing. Wow. How much, if people, even before the book was published, were so excited about it, that speaks to your excellent writing. How much history or historical research did you need to do before you actually wrote the book?
Well, okay, it's very important. I just want to tell everybody, any aspiring authors. Notice I use the word aspire, inspiring and aspire, because that's my book publisher. But my word of wisdom, one of the word of wisdom, is to always do your research, because I was just meeting with a film producer last night, because also this is a contender for a new film. Is an exciting feature film,
Oh my
and
goodness,
I know,
amazing.
isn't that neat? So.
Congratulations. Wow.
But thank you. But we were talking about that, and they were saying that they don't understand how some people write books or write for film, screenplays, and they don't do their research, and people can catch that right away. They get that. Wait a minute, used to live there, or this and this. That's not true. I used to do this occupation, and that's not at all accurate. So I did a lot of research on it. I did a lot of reading before I even prepared, where the locations. It takes place. I like to do a lot of my books in small towns. I think people relate with small towns. And this is in the Midwest. It's Madison, Indiana. And I did a lot of research on that. I've been to Indiana in that area too, so I'm real familiar with that. Also, another piece of advice is that people say to always write what you know. I know you know that. You write. You're an author yourself, and so it's important to write what you know, or either to research it. You know, there's some authors. Did you know that I just learned this? Some famed authors that actually go to a certain city and they live, a town or city, and they'll live there for like 6 months just to get the feel of the town. Isn't that cool? Now, I also use something, if I'm not able to go there, I do something called Google Street View. You're familiar with that, Google Street View.
Yes,
And
yes. It
it's
really
really
gives you
cool.
a real life feel. Yeah.
Right, I call that like the next best thing. So, so I go there and I can actually see the restaurant that I wrote about. I can see all the places that, all the streets, and you can. It's really detailed. It's different than the satellite Google satellite. You know, so it's the next best thing. It's still, you know, it's probably better to go visit the city and town that you're talking about. But I am, the other cities that are in this book, I'm very familiar with because I used to live in those cities and visit those cities. So I have a kind of handle on that and everything, but it's very important to do research. So I did do research, and I also learned a lot along the way too. It's kind of like a lot of history lesson. But I do want to say that this is not a history book per se. It's a historical thriller, meaning that it's based on a historical event, and that part's true, but the other part is not true. I mean, it's fiction. It's fiction, of course, but there are already people. I haven't gotten any. As the book is so new, it's just out, and they're not reviews yet and everything. But there will be reviews coming out. But the interesting part is the people that have talked, that have bought the book, said they can't put the book down. It's just a page turner over and over and over, which is a great sign. And it's easy to read. By the way, I want to show you something. The publisher did a really great thing. You know, this is, you can see this. The book has it has lots of spacing and nice font between it. So what we call it is an easy read. And everybody, the people I've talked to, they say they really like the way that they did that. That's the decision of the of Aspire book publishers to do it that way. I wanted to say that there was a lot of careful work on this book. That's why I give credit to Aspire and Dan, Ali, and Zaid. They it was taxing in the fact that it was edited 13 times. Can you believe that's a lot? I guess that's my lucky 13 or whatever. But it was edited that many times. I pretty much have memorized the book, you know, backwards and forwards.
Well, that's amazing, you know, and it's, I think it's wonderful to have such an thorough edit of your work so
Yeah, yeah,
that
it
you
is. I
know.
think it is. I think it is. Yeah.
I think it's good. I think it's excellent, you know, without losing the essence of what it is that you're wanting to portray.
Right.
But it means that they, you know, they're really, really thorough about what they do, and that they want to put out a good quality work, and that's fantastic.
Yes, I do. I was really impressed because this is the first time I've worked with them, and I was impressed by what they came up with, the concept of the book, by my idea. You know, like, because sometimes the graphic artists, graphic designers don't always get it right. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't get something that you like or that was appealing. But I was most impressed the first time when they showed me that. I was like, wow, they must have read my mind. And it was amazing. And so, yeah, and I'm very grateful that the fact that they work hard with me as far as the staff does, editorial staff, as far as doing the editing, you know, careful editing. It's very important, I
Yeah,
think it is.
yeah.
And you know, of course, I mean, it's probably not everybody's favorite thing to do. You know, the drudgery work, you know, of having to edit over and over and over. You're going, golly, maybe this will be the last one. Maybe, you know. But anyway,
I
that's
must say, you know, even after all these years, I find it a thrilling thing when they get the cover of the book right, because you know it's really taking what's in your mind's eye
uh
and somehow transposing those thoughts and turning it into reality. To me, that's a magical moment
I
when
think
you
so
look at
too.
the cover.
It's like
You know, it's
pop.
magical.
It's pops. It pops. It's almost like the magical moment when you've written your a song you really love. You go into a studio and it comes alive. The song comes alive with the artist singing it and everything. It's just a magical moment. I agree. It's very true. And I do have a
Absolutely.
special announcement to make. I have a special announcement. We can do it now, or we can wait a little bit after
I-
commercial
Can
break.
we wait a little bit? Can we wait
Yeah.
a little bit? I've got some burning questions that I wanted to
Okay.
ask you. What was it that fascinated you so much about President McKinley's assassination that made you want to write this?
Well, okay, couple things. A couple. It's very fascinating. First of all, if you do the research on McKinley, he didn't die instantly. He was shot, and then he. It was 8 days later that he actually passed away. But that was pretty fascinating. The other thing is that not much has been done on President William McKinley. Uh, we're always focusing on Abraham Lincoln and about uh, John F. Kennedy, presidents, but not much on on William McKinley. I could find in history. Isn't that interesting that not as much was really detailed and written? I discovered all the reasons why uh, that this plot was uncovered, a plot to kill to assassinate the president, and there are reasons behind it. It also involves several, at least another country that that um, was part of the plot too. But the interesting, fascinating part is that it's kind of relates today. I don't want to get into politics and stuff, but McKinley was one of the only few presidents that incorporated tariffs on other countries. And today tariffs is a big news in the with different countries. With the United States and
That's
all.
very interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
That's a
don't you
very
think
interesting
it's so?
point.
What it is very current. It's the timing is perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Absolutely perfect timing when it comes to tariffs because it's a huge big thing right now that's very very uh, topical. Speaking
yes.
of which, um, do you think that fiction can actually help us process historical truth? I think so from the story. But what's your
Yes.
take on that?
Yes, I agree. I think it can. It can help us. It maybe expands our minds a little bit, opens up our minds so that we can maybe, well, is this, there's so many conspiracy theories out there. There's so many. But the thing is, I think it can help us dig deeper and think, well, could this have happened? This happened. The same thing with sci-fi. You know that, like sci-fi today, you'll see things written in books about the future, and then it's strangely enough, some of those things actually come true. Don't If you notice that, like inventions and things, right? Correct with sci-fi.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
like I just read a story today. You don't know what is. I mean, on the internet, you don't know what's real and fake news and stuff. But I read an article about that they're developing. Scientists are developing a transporter for human beings. Remember in science fiction, was the thing of traveling into another time or dimension with transporters and stuff. And so, but what I'm saying is the sci-fi thing, though, is also kind of expands our minds to think like what could be possible, space travel to a certain place or planets or where, what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you're kind of reading my mind a little bit today. Um, I want to ask you, Thornton, what uh, challenges do you face or have you had to overcome when you blend so much facts with fiction?
well, that's a good question. I think it's like, where do you cross the line? I think that's the thing. It's like how much history do you give, and then how much fiction do you give? I think it's a balance. You know what I'm saying? Like crossing the line. Uh, you don't want to give too much history into it because then you bore the readers. You don't want to do that either. And on the other hand, if you don't give them a lot of some historical facts, I think the book kind of loses its meaning too. So
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? So
it's
it's a fine line of crossing that,
yeah,
delicate balance. I think that's the trick. And
absolutely.
this is my very first historical thriller, which I'm excited. It won't be my last one, but I think it was a really fun book to write. By the way, if you're having fun, by the way, I read that. If you're having fun writing songs like I do, write songs, and also you write books, then you know the people that are listening to or readers will also have fun with it. They'll enjoy the book a lot. I think the song.
No, I totally agree with that.
And you
In
know what else I
in
want to say is I get lost sometimes. I don't know if this happens to a lot of authors, but I get lost. I think that's a good sign. I actually get lost in when I'm writing the book, and I'm not even in the reality right now. Isn't that strange? I can't explain to people. It's a brain activity. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'm a part of the actual book. Feel like I'm in the scene. Like I just popped into this scene. I'm there. Does that make?
I
I
think
don't know.
I think it's brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant, and that
And then I
speaks
forget.
to,
I forget. Oh no, I'm late for something. Oh my goodness.
oh my goodness. I think that's a wonderful ability and something that definitely comes with many, many years of practice, which you no doubt have had. How does in the Pristine Plot, how does grief function as a driver of the story in the Pristine Plot?
Well, I don't want to give too much away, but the grief actually is a motivator to this guy history teacher. His name is Monty Page, and so he loses his wife. They've only been married for 3 years to a drunk driver, teen driver who they were. It's just really sad. They were going to celebrate their anniversary on that date. Can you believe it? That's the part that's really sad too. It's kind of dramatic too about it, but and she gets killed. She didn't get instantly killed, but she gets struck by a drunk driver, and then he has to rush to the hospital, and he watches her painfully pass away, which is like grief. So it introduces the grief right away. It's actually a backstory, a little bit of that, but at the beginning, the very beginning of the story is the story of the gravedigger digging the plot, which is the family plot where all the people are buried in the family. And he watches that being dug, that grave. Um, and then it goes to the next chapter. He's talking to his therapist, usually therapist or psychologist about uh, the grief, and so it does cover a lot of grief. It's kind of interesting. I think people will really connect with that grief. I think so, and it's really pretty sad. I mean, he watches the gravedigger dig it, and then all of a sudden, the gravedigger discovers a metal box, a container, down at the bottom of his wife's grave. Can you believe that? It's like,
Okay, we don't want to give too much away. We
oh
want
no.
people to actually go and
Oh no,
go
there's
and
plenty. There's plenty in the book. There's murders, and there's love interest, and there's all kinds of things, betrayal and corruption, and
yeah. There's a lot to dig into. What are you hoping that readers will as a two-part question, what are you hoping readers will feel or question after they've read the book?
hmm. Well, I think they will maybe gets their mind to thinking maybe there's more to a story than just the obvious. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot more because this book has a lot of twist in it, which is great. I love to write a good twist and everything. I don't like books to be predictable at all. I've talked to people who say, "Well, I read this book and it was so boring and predictable and blah blah blah." I think that it'll get people to thinking deeper about things that are reported, like facts in the news that are supposedly facts about everything, and question things. I think it leave people questioning more. I think people will. I'm hoping that people, when they see the ending, and if and when it turns into a movie, like a featured film on the big screen, hope people will be cheering and clapping at the end, going like, "Yeah, justice is served." That's what I'm hoping.
I think that's amazing, Thornton. Did you write this book with a particular kind of reader in mind?
Oh, right. They say know your market, right? Well, wow. Well, yeah, I guess in a sense, I wrote it like for it to be more like a people that are history buff, people that like to know things, that are kind of interested in events in history that happen, right? Yeah, that would be a sense. It doesn't cross it. It doesn't. I think it's really from all ages, except for it's not for kids. Of course, it's a mature audience. I'd say probably at least 17 and beyond. But I would think it was. It's not just for history buffs, but I think people will find it interesting. I think it revives history, some of the things people and other generations have forgotten about, for like President William McKinley, maybe people didn't even know about that assassination. It's possible. I mean, so many people were focused on, like I say, Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy and assassinations like that, right?
Was there anything that you would say surprised you when you were writing the book or doing research?
Huh. That's a really good question. I write. Yeah, sometimes I have a little disagreement with my conscious and subconscious. We have a little fight with it. What I do is, like for instance, way I write, I don't really think about it at all. Isn't that amazing? It's, I guess you call it a gift or talent or whatever. Some people say, my friends will say, Thornton, you have a gift for writing. I've heard that over and over. But what it is a lot of times I'll just get lost in my writing and just start writing, and then don't ever edit. I just write, and I don't really think about it. And all of a sudden, it's like it just you pull words and phrases from and sentences from thin air. How's that cool? I mean, just in the universe. And so sometimes I'll stop and look what I've written and go, "Wow, you really think that's the way it should go, huh?" So I do battles sometimes, little battles with my conscious and all that and subconscious.
Yeah. Do you think that the Pristine Plot could spark some public debate or historical reevaluation after they read the book? Especially because it's about a president that most people don't know that much about.
Yes, I do. I do think so. I think it'd be amazing if it did cause a public debate. It would be well, yes, because when I delved in further about the history of it, I learned some startling things that I was like, for instance, when the investigation of William McKinley came about, it appeared that they kind of rushed things a lot, and the police chief, which I won't give it away, but there is a police chief. There's some corruption that went on, and I mean that's years ago, years and years ago, but in Chicago area, and so yeah, I did learn some things that actually I know it's mostly all fiction, based on historical event, but it's possible that it could, because people could relook and reevaluate and things. You've heard about that, right? They go back and go, like right now they've even gone back. People have gone back to the John F. Kennedy assassination and saying, well, maybe some of these things didn't really happen, or did. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Absolutely.
So it
Yeah.
could, because I was learning about different groups that opposed William McKinley, that didn't like him, and also because of the tariffs and things, and different. He had his supporters, but he also had enemies too. So like any leader can have both supporters and enemies, right? So
Absolutely. I want to segue just for a little bit. You went to the Grammy Awards this year again,
yeah.
and tell us a little bit about it for those who missed it. What was the
Well,
experience like?
it was spectacular, amazing. Well, first of all, there was this. Line to get in, of course, and then the people that we got to meet. I mean, I saw. I didn't get to meet them all, but John Legend, he and his wife were at the in the crowd, and stuff. And unfortunately, and I understand, because you've been keeping up with the news about the wildfires in California. They were really severe during that time, and the Academy thought, that's the Recording Academy does the Grammys, thought it was best interest to help support the people had lost everything, which was a good call on their part. And so they canceled the parties. And all that week, there's usually 13 parties or more, 12 or 13 parties that whole week. It's called the Grammy party, preview parties. And then there's the Grammy party, which I've been to. That was the second time I've been to the Grammys, and I hope and that I'll be able to go this coming year, 2026. But that's where you meet a lot of people too at the parties, all the parties and things. And so they canceled all those things because of the fire. So it was the fire. So it was a really scaled down Grammys, and I was really impressed of the way that they honored on the show. They honored the firefighters and all the heroes, the people that, and they also gave tribute and to the people that were lost. They paid honor to the people that lost lives lost as well as property and everything too. And I got to good seating, really good, real close in, which was great. And uh, it's called the Crypto Center now. It used to be called the Staples Center. It's in downtown LA. It's the whole complex. There's the Crypto Center, and then next to the Crypto Center is the Grammy Museum. Isn't that cool? The whole Grammy Museum, and that's where they have the parties. But it's all within walking distance, all real close to each other. And then there's also uh, there's this big complex. There's nothing like it in the world, supposedly. I'm told this. There's 50 restaurants in there. Can you believe it? 50 restaurants in this giant. So you can sample every kind of food from every nation. It also has a movie theater. It has games like arcades and everything, and it's just all connected in there. And it's a big complex. Isn't that amazing? And it's all there in downtown Los Angeles. So
What an amazing privilege
yes,
to have been
and
able
so
to be there.
yeah, and the
So
Grammys go on a long time too. They're about a 3 hour show, So, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. I got to meet people, network with people, and just thoroughly enjoyed the show. So, hoping this year, when I go, if I'm able to go and everything, that I'll be able to meet more people and do the networking, at the parties too, because there's lots of parties and stuff.
yeah, Thornton, tell me a little bit about you are multi-skilled, multi-talented. Tell me a little bit about what was behind Clinitel Records and how do you balance your creative energy between music and writing?
Okay, well, that's a good question. It's so Clientele. It's called Clientele Records Nashville now. That's the name of it. It was formed in 2016. It's based off my name. I'm sure you gather that. But there's plenty of people. There are people that will call it Clientele, and and I understand. But it's based on the clientele, like when you look in the dictionary about being personable to people and working with people, and also as a play on the words, with my last name Klein, Cline, and so I just thought it would be cute and clever to put the name of the company as Clientele. Well, I'm really fortunate. It started in 2016. I have 11 artists. My latest artist right now is Rachel D. Lynn. You've had her on her show, and she's doing well. She just had her. Uh, by the way, shout out to
It's
Rachel D. Lynn
amazing.
if she's watching and everything. She had her second number one egomaniac, and so actually she gathered she has 8 number 1s now. Can you believe it? Since 6 months, it's on the world indie charts and the Euro indie charts, and she's had a lot of interest in her, and it's really changed her. She'll say that she said it was a turning point. So everything's really happened fast with her. But I have great artists like Chris Chitsey, who has had number 23 next to Chris Stapleton on the major charts, country charts, and have Billy Gaines. He's a phenomenal artist with, and then Sister J's too. Sisters J, they're great. They're up for awards too. You probably saw that. They're so I'm very lucky and blessed that I have such great talent on Clientele Records. And then some of the people I know haven't mentioned, and please forgive me if I did not mention your name on artists, because I think highly of all my artists. I respect them. But it is hard work. I must say, not always a lot of sleep, but but I try to. The more I've learned something, the busier I am, the more I get done. Does that make sense? I know people say, "How's that possible?" Huh?
Absolutely. I think that the saying goes, if you want to get something done, give it to a busy person.
Right. Have you heard that? Yes, that's great. Isn't that
Yes,
true?
I
And
have. I
so
have.
I'm very lucky. I'm not expanding anything right now. No new artists, though. I'll tell you this much. I know I must be doing something right. I'll tell you why. Because since Rachel's hit had two number ones recently, Rachel D. Lynn, and then also my other artists have been very successful too. I think we've had 14 number ones. It's amazing for Clientele Records since it started 2016. I've been approached every day. I get emails, people calling me, and I take it as flattering. I really do. And they want me to consider them as an artist to be on their label. So don't you think that's pretty amazing? And they even have, I won't say any names or anything. I'm really honored and flattered that there's artists out there that actually have had number ones. There's some pretty well-known artists, but they haven't had success lately. Isn't that amazing that they come to me? I mean, I'm a small label. Like I'm a small label, but we are signed. Just have a distribution deal with Sony Orchard. But don't you think that's kind of Bridgetti that people would come to me about it because I'm a small label? So I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I think we lost you there a little bit. Won't you repeat that last bit again, Thornton, if you don't mind?
Okay, I have people that have had huge hits, number ones, that are well-known names, but I don't want to mention their names. That have had big hits, 15, 20 years ago, and they're stars, and they've been approaching me about representing them. They want maybe to be signed with my label, and so it's attracting a lot of attention. People call me all the time, and
Thornton, now would be a really nice time for you to share your surprise news that you wanted to reveal on the show. So
okay.
go ahead.
The reason I wanted to backtrack a minute, the reason is I'm humbled by it that the people are approaching me because I am a small label. That's what I'm trying to say is that it's um like why me? But anyway, so okay, the news that I've already cleared and got clearance to announce it today. It's exclusively on Bridgetti's show here, and I wanted to go ahead and let you know this is a dream that is very rare. I know many people that this has happened to, and I'm very grateful for it. But anyway, so since I've developed a relationship with Aspire book publishers, they're in San Francisco and Toronto and in South Florida. They've taken a liking to my books, and they've looked at my books, and they like my manuscripts and things and my style of writing. Well, they have made an offer to me, a deal that I accepted. The deal is that they are going to publish all of my books, all all my books. I had to read I had to read the email a couple times just to process it. But that's the author's dream come true. Amazing. Uh, so that's what they have made the offer, and I accepted the offer, and they said I could announce it now. But what's exciting is I have 12 unpublished books, 12 manuscripts, and they're going to be publishing those, and they're going to do some reprints of books that have gone out of print, so there'll be the second printing. But I just want to say I'm really grateful to Dan and Ali and Zaid with Aspire Book Publishers. They're great, and you know, you could consider any authors that may want to submit their material manuscripts to for consideration. I really recommend them.
Wow, congratulations. I think that is absolutely wonderful news, and I'm delighted for you. Um,
And
if the
I'm
Pristine
highly
Plot
motivated.
ever
I'm hi-
became,
I'm sorry.
uh,
I'm highly motivated.
well,
I'm
I'm
highly
excited.
motivated.
I'm excited for you. Thornton, if the Pristine Plot ever became, or if it became a film, who would you cast as Monty Page?
Oh, well, I better be careful on who to announce, because the reason is there is an actor that's very well known who's has has films out right now, and I'm speaking with him. Okay, this is sort of can't reveal too much, but I'm speaking with him, and he's also a film producer. And as a matter of fact, I just met with him last night. Isn't that amazing? And he's very much interested in the Pristine Plot, and his screenplay writers are too. And so what they would do is they would um, write the screenplay from my book, adapt it, and then it would be presented to the investors of movie or film, and then it would be made into a featured film. The reason I'm careful about why I didn't want to, say the people that I might want to be the actors and everything is because he's an actor himself, and he's a very good actor. And he actually mentioned the fact that he it, when it becomes a movie, that he would like to be considered as the main actor of the movie, which is great. So I'm just saying that.
That's amazing. So
So
exciting.
I don't
I'm
want
very, very
to.
happy for you.
I don't want to bite the I'll bite the hand that feeds me. Is that what they say?
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Thornton, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I really enjoyed this.
Me too.
And
Me
to
too.
our amazing audience, yeah, to our
May I
amazing
give a
audience
shout out?
out there, I want to say, yes,
May I
go
give a
ahead.
shout out
Go ahead.
to Mary Elizabeth Jackson? I want to give a shout out to some of the people that have been my biggest supporters and encouragers and everything. And thank you, Mary Elizabeth Jackson. She and I write, and we're up for the Red Letter Awards. Isn't that great? For September 13th, the Red Letter Awards for one of our books, The Perfectly Precious Pulicious books. And then I want to give out to shout out to Caitlin May, an amazing artist, recording artist, and also to Rachel D. Lynn, amazing artist too on my label, and Sassy Vizay. She's a British artist, and she's recorded. We have a song out right now called Midnights with Michael J. And it's doing really well on the charts. So that's all. I just wanted to shout out to some of my supporters and encouragers.
No, wonderful. So glad that you were able to give them a shout out. Thank you, Thornton. So, to our amazing audience out there, if you enjoyed the conversation, please, please, please support Thornton. Go and grab a copy of the Pristine Plot. It's available on Amazon. And don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth author conversations. So join us again next time on Books with Bridgetti, where we spark conversation one page at a time. Thank you again, Thornton.
Thank you, Bridgetti, for
Thank you for joining us on Books with Bridgetti. Join us next time for industry experts and award-winning authors.
I think this might be, I've been on over 24 different podcasts and radio shows in the last couple of months. And this has to be one of the most sophisticated, what the kids like to teach called bomb.com shows and presentations that I've ever been on. It's fantastic. Thank you for having me here.
Available wherever great books are sold near you.